Hello, everyone, and welcome back to RTchats, the channel where we talk about all the latest sport news. And today we're going to be talking again about rugby and our Springboks squad, which we did predict earlier. Horrible timing. And we'll just be going through the team list as you'll see on your screen. So let's start off with forwards on props. What do you think?
My personal opinion is very good. Who else could you really put in there? I mean, you got Thomas the Toy, but there's not much change you should actually do there. I agree 100% with the 5 props that they chose. My starting props would be Steven Kitshoff and Vincent Koch. I mean, Frans Malab is good as well. Oxenchair, Trevor, all very class players.
I'm going to agree completely with you there. Exactly what you said. There's nothing more to be said, really. It's all-star props there, and I wouldn't have added anyone else on that list. Yeah. Okay. Going on to hookers then.
I mean, all I have to say is they got Malcolm Marx. And remember in our previous video, for those of you who watched it, we really praised Malcolm Marx very highly. Very good.
Yeah. Class player.
Very good player.
Ball stealing, scrumming, line outs, he's just great.
He's a very impressive player. And then Bongi is always a good backup to have, that experience. Yeah. He captained last week. So very good player to have as a backup. And I think that's the right choices by hooker style.
Yeah. You could have added a name like Dweba there, but those are our 2 best hookers we have, and there's only that many people you can choose for the squad.
You also need to look at the number of people that you can fit into the squad in certain positions and where your game plan lies. So I think it's the 2 good hookers that you need to put in there.
Cool. Next up, the locks. I'm going to start with this one. Sorry, but
unacceptable.
Eben Etzebeth, absolute legend. I watched a podcast from our competition, is what we're going to call them. The Breakdown Rugby Podcast.
Little name drop,
now,
calling you out.
Yeah, the one video I particularly didn't like of theirs, where they said best lock combination and they said Retallick and White Lock are much better than Eben Etzebeth. I'm sorry, Kieran. My guy, Eben Etzebeth, outplays them any day. Eben Etzebeth on a bad day is better than them. Adke Snyman, also amazing, great offloads. To comment on this list, however, Marvin Ori, I wouldn't have had him there, but unfortunately, Luit's out, so you don't really have much of a choice. He's good at the lineouts, but penalties he just gives away too much of that for me.
Yeah, I must agree. Gives away too much. I don't think he's clinical enough. I don't think he's got that experience, that leadership that Eben has. And I feel like it's just Eben, RTchats Snyman, 2 very good. Jean Klein hasn't proven himself 100% yet, but from what I've seen from him, very good player, very good at everything he does on the field, and very clinical.
Okay.
And then for me, my starting would be Eben and RTchats Snyman.
Absolutely.
Good combo.
Absolutely agree with you there. Loose forwards. Your take on that first?
I think in the loose forwards you can make a bit of change. I think it's the normal names that you would have there, but I feel like you should give someone like Evan Roos a start who isn't there. And I feel like he is someone that deserves to be there. And he's someone that can go from flank fall onto the 8th man, same as Jasper Visser, but I still feel like Evan Roos proved himself to be in the Springbok squad for the World Cup. So
got that young blood, that energy, that hunger, which
that
I don't
aggression.
think exactly. I don't think that other people have that anymore.
It's like, I don't agree with Australia, for example. Too many youngsters, but you need youngsters as well.
Siya Kolisi, as you see there, also captain. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think you can just bring someone back out of nowhere and straight back in the captaincy role.
I just don't think that's right of Ninabe to do. But
if you look at who captained us throughout the Rugby Championship,
I think Dwayne should be captain.
Exactly. Dwayne is a great captain. And if you look at the 2019 World Cup, who was the guy speaking in the huddle 90% of the time? Dwayne Vermeulen, not Siya Kolisi. So that's just what we think. Siya, not a bad player overall, but I do rate some people at the moment better than him. And he's been out due to injury for a long time now. So you can't just expect him to do well just like that.
Come back, becomes captain. I mean, he was captain, but it just feels wrong to name him as the captain already. I feel like he should work back to his captaincy. He's a good player, so maybe he should be in the squad, but he must work back to the captaincy.
I agree with that. Okay, then utility forwards. We've had a couple of chats about this. Dion Fourie, massive fan of his, I must say. Correct. He's a great player. Oldest Springbok debut, now playing at World Cup. However, we do have questions about his role, and that is the fact he's a fetcher. We have a lot of that already. You know, you have Malcolm Marx, Stephen Kitsoff lately has been seeing so much.
Stephen Kitsoff, Malcolm Marx, Jasper Visser, even Quacker Smith sometimes. He's very good at ball stealing as well.
All those guys are already fetchers. I don't think really need more, and that is really what makes Dion Fourie special. So it kind of takes away from him. Put it that way. I'm still very happy for him to be in the team, but I'm just his role. I'm questioning.
But I'm questioning where the coaches are going with the mix of the players.
Yeah.
But it's a good selection so far, but the mix feels a bit weird.
He's a nice player to have in a warm-up game, you know, against Tonga, Armenia, those smaller teams, you know.
Yeah. And then Franco Mostert, I feel like he deserves his spot. He's good enough.
All-round good player.
And he's a good, versatile player to just always be there.
So. And very good workload. All right, so then we're going to move on to our backline. This is exciting. However, I'm going to disagree with one thing, but I'm going to let you start this off.
First thing I want to start with scrum offs. Why do we need 4 scrum offs at a World Cup? Why do we need 4 scrum offs? I would say drop one of the scrum offs. Personally, drop Jaden Hendrickse. Yeah, he hasn't proved himself lately. And then, in my opinion, Faf is also just not that guy anymore.
That is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Faf de Klerk, for me, he's proven himself many times on defense. He's absolutely amazing. I know you complain about his game being too slow.
He's a good defender. I'll give you that. But otherwise, I'm not sure.
He's Faf, you know. He's always
so you can go sit there and brush his hair aside through the whole match.
I don't know.
He's not that guy.
Okay, I think Faf can stay. Grant Williams, great player. He hasn't proven himself as much.
He only got 20 seconds.
That is true. But
he got knocked out. Is it good enough?
Yeah, Jaden Hendrickse not being in the squad, I agree with you. He shouldn't be there. He hasn't played rugby in so long.
And personally, I would feel bad for someone like Herschel Jantjies, who was actually played in the past couple of games.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, someone gets chosen over him. I would question my game.
When last did Jaden Hendrickse play at Springbok level? That game where he got injured against New Zealand. So
it was 2 years ago.
I don't know how he makes it into that team straight away.
He doesn't deserve his spot. I would say drop Jaden Hendrickse.
And just keep 3 scrum offs and get a player somewhere else.
And then for me, my starting, Cobus Verena, then Grant Williams, then Faf. You want to say something now? You were just back and Faf.
I'm going to agree with you. However, if it comes down to Cobus Reinach not being able to play, I'd put in Faf as a starter and Grant Williams coming off for the bench because he's a good impact player.
Yeah, and one thing I would say, depends on the team. I would play Faf against Scotland or something like that, but I wouldn't play him against New Zealand, for example.
Yeah, so we need to make the game fast. When we need to make
the game fast, we play with Cobus.
Yeah, I agree.
Great aggressive player, works well, quick passes. He is just that guy.
Yeah. Fly-offs. Very sad. Andre Pollard not being in the squad once again.
He's on backup.
Yeah, but if you can have Sia Kolisi there.
Yeah, then
straight away, why not?
Was also kind of injured, so the
exactly.
thing is, that's another reason why I think Sia doesn't deserve that spot.
Exactly. If he makes that spot, then why not Andre Pollard?
Exactly.
At the end of the day. So, but in Moni Leboeck, I think we have a really good fly. He's just got to make sure he's consistent in his kicking game. Damian Willemse,
Damian Willemse.
We have a strong dislike in him.
I don't think he's good enough.
Not for fly-off.
Personally, what I would have done is, I know Jesse Kriel, maybe Andre Pollard might come back by the second game or something, or might not make World Cup. But I personally would have dropped Jaden Hendrickse and drafted one more fly-off and put in would have put in Pollard, because the thing is, Filmster, he can play fullback, so that's always a good player to have.
Option.
But still,
Yeah. Okay, and then centers. Isn't this exactly what we predicted?
yeah,
It's
pretty
exact-
much.
I think no mistakes there. It'll just be interesting to see how they combine
Aren't
these
you
guys.
missing Nakanya Ambru?
Oh, my favorite guy. No,
No, he's not good enough. What's that guy's name? The England guy, the podcast.
Oh, Kieran.
Kieran, we actually agree with you.
We
for
do
once.
agree with you on 1 point, but 1 point.
Well done.
Is not even close to as good as Gary Ringrose or anyone on any level. But yeah, so I'm thinking I'm really happy with this centers. It'll be
Me too.
interesting to
Andre
see how they
Esterhuizen proved himself.
absolutely. So how they match these guys up. Jesse Creel's kind of your outside center go-to, so it'll just be a rotation between inside centers, or maybe they move Dialindi to an outside center role. I think Andre Esterhuizen is your inside when it comes to those two.
No, I have to agree. And then it also depends on the games that you play in. So
Yeah.
it's another thing. Look at the squad and then choose your team.
Okay, and last topic being outside backs. Curtly Arnser, Jason Colby, Very LaRue, my guy,
He is my
Mapimpi,
boy.
and Moody.
So if you look at it, you've got two wingers, two wing parents, Curly Orange and Mapimpi on the left hand side, and Cheslin Colby and Moody on the right hand side. Moody can switch over, but
And play fullback if it comes down to it as well.
yeah. But if you look at that as a face value, I feel like that's what they're going with. They're gonna have those two pairings. Who do you see starting? The two wingers that are starting.
For me, the best, and I've heard this from other people as well, Curtly Oranser and Jason Colby. They've proven themselves to me the most. Mapimpi is not up there at all right now. We saw in the Argentina game, he was really not good.
I don't think Mapimpi makes my squad.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't think he makes my 33-man squad or whatever it is.
He's never really had that creativeness, and I thought of this a while ago. Him and happen to pair up pretty well, but they don't pair up well with anyone else.
Yeah.
Or with the rest of the team. So
it's a two-player squad in that
exactly
sense.
in that sense, yeah. So my wingers are definitely going to be Arnson and Colby, and backup for them would be Moody because he's played pretty well. And then fullback is no question, Villaroo. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Class. He's class.
He should start every single game, in my opinion.
I agree with that. He's kicks from the back, from both feet. Always integrate himself from the back there into the line on attack and defense. Such an experienced player. I just wish people would stop criticizing him. He's actually fantastic.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best we have. For me, like our best players had to be Philly, Jesse Creel, Irvin. Dwayne's also been playing very well lately.
And your favorite Malcolm Marx.
Malcolm Marx.
Yeah.
Those are, I would say, our top players. Dialendi needs to find a bit of consistency sometimes. He's one of my favorite players, but
step up his game just a little bit.
In World Cup he usually does, but we'll see.
True. So just to end off the last little thing we've been talking about, I think prediction on what we think South Africa is going to do with the squad in the World Cup. How far are we going to go? Let's just predict the pool. What's going to happen there?
Yeah. So we are going to do a bigger video about this and like a bit of more World Cup videos when it comes to the time.
Predict the full outcome.
The full outcome, every single pool, a bit of all of the matches right here on RTchats. But for me, I say we make semis.
Semis.
Depends who we draw in the quarterfinals. I feel like we beat France, but we don't beat New Zealand.
New Zealand. Yeah, at the moment, I'm not seeing it. It'll be a really tight game. Maybe we put away with New Zealand, but I think if we do beat New Zealand, that's going to be like our final, just like we saw with England and New Zealand in the last World Cup. Then you don't win the next match because you got to put in everything just to beat New Zealand, and they're on such great form right now. So I'm going to agree with you. We're not going. If we reach finals, that would be great, but unfortunately, I feel like there are better teams at the moment.
I have to agree.
Right. Then just to end off the video, please do join us on SuperBru, where we will be doing predictions on Premier League. The link is in the bottom in the description. And also do like and subscribe so we can build up a bit of a fan base and bring you more content.